Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk something truly transformative. We're going to talk about the quiet power of wisdom and the silent strength of choice. Life is not just about who we allow into our lives, it's about who we release, who we rise above, and who we silently walk away from. Now let's take a moment and understand this. Energy is everything. Who you surround yourself with has a direct impact on your vibration, your emotions, your state of being. If you're constantly surrounded by chaos, negativity, or limitations, you'll find yourself trapped in a cycle that isn't your own. But when you begin to operate from a place of deep wisdom, something remarkable happens. You stop trying to fix or fight what drains you, and instead you rise. You cut ties with what no longer serves you, not in anger, not in resentment, but in silence. The first group of people you must release are those who gossip. Think about this for a moment. If someone is constantly speaking poorly of others, guess who they'll be talking about next? When we entertain gossip, we lower our energy to its level. Wisdom knows that gossip is a distraction, a loop of judgment and negativity that keeps you small. Let it go. The second type, those who play the victim. Life happens to all of us. Pain, hardship, disappointment, they're part of the human experience. But those who refuse to take responsibility for their own healing will always project their pain outward. You cannot carry someone else's burdens without being weighed down yourself. Set them free to find their own journey. Next, those who refuse to grow. Understand this growth is uncomfortable. It challenges your beliefs, your habits, and your identity. But it's also where transformation happens. If someone is committed to staying stuck while you're striving to evolve, their inertia will pull you backward. And wisdom says you cannot force someone to grow who doesn't want to. Fourth, those who envy you. Envy is an energy that poisons relationships. When someone cannot celebrate your victories, you're like they are fighting their own battles with lack and insecurity. Don't shrink to make them comfortable. Let them go and shine even brighter. And finally, those who manipulate. Manipulation is subtle, insidious. It's the bending of truth, the twisting of reality, to serve someone else's agenda. Wisdom recognizes manipulation not as power, but as fear in disguise. And when you release it, you reclaim your own power, your own truth. Now, here's the beautiful part. This is not about judgment or separation. Cutting these ties is not an act of rejection, it's an act of alignment. You are not walking away in anger, you are walking toward peace. When you release these energies, you make space for love, growth, and possibility. You raise your vibration. You attract relationships that uplift, not drain. And so I invite you today to take a quiet inventory of your life. Are there connections that no longer feel expansive? Are there energies pulling you away from your higher self? Remember, wisdom doesn't announce itself. It doesn't justify its choices or explain its decisions. It simply acts. Let this be the moment you act. Not loudly, not in conflict, but silently, powerfully, intentionally. Because when you choose who and what gets access to your energy, you are no longer just surviving life, you are creating it. And that, my friends, is the ultimate act of wisdom. Energy is the foundation of everything in our lives. It's the invisible force that drives our thoughts, emotions, actions, and ultimately, our outcomes. Whether we realize it or not, the people we surround ourselves with play a pivotal role in shaping this energy. Every interaction, every word, and every moment spent with others is an exchange of energy. This exchange can either elevate us, allowing us to operate at a higher level of creativity, joy, and clarity, or it can drain us, pulling us into states of negativity, doubt, and stagnation. Imagine your energy as a vibrational frequency. When you're in a positive state, feeling inspired, loved, or peaceful, you're vibrating at a higher frequency. This is when you're most aligned with your purpose and potential. But when you're constantly exposed to people who operate at lower frequencies, those driven by fear, jealousy, anger, or self-doubt, you risk lowering your own frequency to match theirs. This isn't just an abstract concept, it's a reality grounded in the science of human interaction. Our nervous systems are designed to resonate with the energy around us. This is why you might feel drained after spending time with certain individuals, even if they've said nothing overtly negative. When we choose who we surround ourselves with, we're not just choosing relationships, we're choosing the environment for our energy. Positive, uplifting individuals feed our spirit. They encourage us to dream bigger, act bolder, and think more expansively. Their energy amplifies ours, creating a cycle of mutual growth. But the reverse is also true. Negative, toxic, or stagnant individuals feed off our energy, draining us to sustain their own patterns. The more time we spend in these environments, the more difficult it becomes to maintain our higher frequency. Energy is contagious. Have you ever walked into a room where everyone is stressed or frustrated? You might have started the day feeling great, but after a few minutes in that space, your mood shifted. This is the power of energetic influence. Same happens in relationships. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, gossip, or focus on problems rather than solutions, you'll find your mind beginning to mirror those patterns. Your focus shifts from possibilities to limitations, from gratitude to dissatisfaction. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who embody positivity, gratitude, and ambition, their energy becomes a source of inspiration. You find yourself thinking more creatively, feeling more capable, and stepping into a higher version of yourself. This is why protecting your energy is not just a preference, it's a necessity. Your energy determines the quality of your thoughts, which shape your emotions, actions, and ultimately your life. By consciously choosing who gets access to your time and energy, you create an environment where you can thrive. This choice is not selfish. It's essential for your growth and well-being. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you isn't about exclusion, it's about alignment. Your energy is sacred, and who you allow into your space directly impacts the trajectory of your journey. Gossip is one of the most insidious forms of communication, yet it often disguises itself as harmless or even entertaining. At its core, gossip is the act of speaking negatively or critically about others when they're not present, and it carries a low vibrational energy that impacts both the speaker and the listener. While it may seem trivial in the moment, the act of engaging in gossip has far-reaching effects on your energy, your relationships, and your mental clarity. When you allow gossip to enter your space, you are welcoming negativity disguised as connection, and it subtly starts to erode your sense of peace and focus. The energy behind gossip is one of judgment and separation. It thrives on comparison, making others appear less than in order to elevate oneself. Whether it's idle chatter about someone's shortcomings, mistakes, or choices, the focus is always on pulling someone else down. What's often overlooked is that the act of gossiping doesn't just harm the person being spoken about, it also harms those who participate in it. When you speak negatively about someone, you are essentially training your mind to focus on flaws, problems, and shortcomings. This reinforces a habit of judgment, and over time it becomes a lens through which you see the world. For those who listen to gossip, the effect is just as powerful. Even if you're not the one speaking, simply being in the presence of gossip changes your energy. It pulls you into the same vibration of negativity and judgment. You might notice that after a conversation filled with gossip, you feel unsettled or drained. That's because your energy has been entangled with a narrative that lowers your vibration. Worse, it creates an unspoken understanding that trust is absent in that space. If someone is willing to gossip about others with you, it's only a matter of time before they gossip about you with someone else. Gossip creates a culture of mistrust, insecurity, and competition. It disrupts the possibility of authentic connection because it fosters an environment where people feel judged or watched. It's impossible to build strong, meaningful relationships on a foundation of gossip. True connection requires vulnerability, trust, and mutual respect, none of which can coexist with the energy of gossip. Wisdom recognizes that gossip is a distraction. It pulls your attention away from your own growth and goals, focusing it instead on the faults of others. This is a misuse of your precious energy. Every moment you spend engaging in gossip is a moment you could have spent creating, learning, or expanding. Gossip serves no higher purpose. It doesn't solve problems, heal wounds, or move anyone forward. Instead, it keeps everyone involved stuck in a loop of negativity. Choosing to remove yourself from gossip isn't about arrogance or moral superiority, it's about alignment. When you prioritize your energy and protect your peace, you naturally distance yourself from anything that disrupts it. By refusing to engage in gossip, you set a standard for the kind of energy you allow into your space. This silent boundary sends a clear message: you are focused on growth, positivity, and authenticity. And by walking away from gossip, you free yourself to rise into a higher frequency where true connection and fulfillment thrive. In life, every one of us encounters challenges, setbacks, and moments of pain. These experiences are universal, and they are part of the human journey. However, what separates individuals is how they respond to these moments. There are those who use adversity as a stepping stone for growth, and then there are those who remain trapped in a victim mentality. The latter group sees themselves as powerless, believing that life happens to them, not for them. While it is natural to feel hurt or defeated at times, staying in this state, in despair, becomes a pattern that drains not only the individual, but also those around them. When someone is committed to a victim mindset, their perspective becomes limited. They see problems but rarely seek solutions. They focus on blame rather than accountability. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to recount their hardships, to seek sympathy, or to validate their belief that they are stuck because of external circumstances. While it may seem compassionate to listen, the reality is that engaging with someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life often pulls you into their narrative. Their energy becomes like quicksand. No matter how much you offer support or encouragement, they resist taking the steps necessary to lift themselves out of their struggles. It's important to understand that growth and healing are deeply personal processes. No one can do it for someone else. While you might feel compelled to help, you cannot force someone to take accountability for their life if they are not ready or willing. It's not uncommon for individuals in a victim mindset to dismiss advice, reject opportunities for growth, and cling to their story of why things can't change. Over time, this behavior can leave you feeling frustrated, depleted, and even resentful, especially if your efforts to help are repeatedly met with resistance. Remaining in close proximity to someone. When you surround yourself with people who refuse to grow, their resistance becomes an anchor that holds you back. These individuals often fear change because it requires them to confront the unknown, to let go of familiar patterns, and to take responsibility for their lives. Instead of embracing growth, they choose to stay in a cycle of repetition, repeating the same thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. Over time, this stagnation creates an energy of limitation. When you are in close proximity to this energy, it can begin to influence your own mindset, subtly discouraging you from pursuing your growth. People who resist growth often project their fears and limitations onto others. They may dismiss your goals, criticize your ambitions, or downplay your efforts to improve yourself. This is not because they don't believe in you, but because your growth threatens their comfort. When you strive to evolve, you hold up a mirror that forces them to see where they have remained stagnant. For some, this reflection is too uncomfortable to bear, so they respond by trying to pull you back into their world of familiarity. The truth is, not everyone is ready for growth. It's a deeply personal journey, and it requires a level of self-awareness and accountability that some are not prepared to face. While it's natural to want to inspire or help others, you cannot force someone to grow if they are not willing. Trying to do so often leads to frustration and disappointment. You may find yourself pouring energy into someone who resists every opportunity to evolve, and this effort can drain you, leaving little energy for your own growth. Choosing to distance yourself from individuals who refuse to grow is not about judgment or superiority. It's about protecting your own energy and creating an environment that supports your evolution. When you surround yourself with people who are committed to growth, you are inspired by their progress, motivated by their ambition, and uplifted by their energy. These relationships create a cycle of mutual support and encouragement where everyone is striving to become the best version of themselves. Growth requires space to explore, to make mistakes, and to transform. When you remove yourself from those who resist growth, you create the space needed for your own expansion. You open yourself to new possibilities, new connections, and new experiences that align with your journey. Growth is a choice, and choosing it means prioritizing the people, environments, and experiences that nurture your potential. Envy is one of the most corrosive energies in human relationships. It is rooted in a sense of lack of belief that someone else's success, happiness, or light diminishes your own. When envy enters a relationship, it poisons the connection, often in ways that are subtle but deeply impactful. Instead of celebration, there is comparison. Instead of support, there is resentment. While it may remain unspoken, envy creates a barrier of negativity that prevents authentic connection and mutual growth. Recognizing this energy and choosing to distance yourself from it is not about rejection, but about protecting your own peace and growth. When someone envies you, they are not reacting to who you truly are. They are reacting to their own insecurities and unmet desires. Your accomplishments, joy, or confidence serve as a trigger, highlighting what they believe they lack. This is not your fault, nor is it your responsibility to fix. Yet, if you remain in close proximity to envy, it can begin to affect you in profound ways. Envy often manifests as subtle criticisms, passive-aggressive comments, or a lack of genuine support. Over time, these behaviors can chip away at your confidence and create doubt about your own path. Envy creates an energy of resistance. Instead of flowing in alignment with those around you, there is tension, a sense that your success or happiness is being silently contested. This resistance can be draining, as you may find yourself trying to downplay your accomplishments or dim your light to make the other person more comfortable. This is a dangerous pattern, as it not only limits your potential, but also sends a message to yourself that your growth and joy are less important than maintaining the comfort of others. The truth is, you are not responsible for someone else's feelings of envy. Growth and success are not things to apologize for. When you achieve something, it is a reflection of your hard work, dedication, and alignment. It is a celebration of what is possible, not a reason for guilt. Those who truly care about you will celebrate alongside you. They will see your wins as inspiration, not competition. They will recognize that your light does not diminish theirs. It only adds to the collective brightness. Choosing to distance yourself from those who envy you is an act of self-respect. It is not about abandoning them, but about prioritizing your own well-being. When you surround yourself with individuals who genuinely support and celebrate your growth, you create an environment that fosters even greater expansion. These are the relationships where you feel safe to dream bigger, take risks, and step fully into your potential. It's important to understand that envy is a reflection of the other person's internal struggles, not a measure of your worth. You cannot control how others perceive your success, but you can control the energy you allow into your life. By walking away from envy, you give yourself permission to shine unapologetically. You align yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and encourage you to be the fullest expression of who you are. This is the energy that fuels true growth and fulfillment. Manipulation is a subtle and often invisible force in relationships, but its effects can be profoundly damaging. At its core, manipulation is the distortion of truth to serve someone else's agenda. It is a deliberate attempt to influence your decisions, emotions, or actions in a way that benefits the manipulator, often at your expense. This behavior is rooted in fear and insecurity, but it masquerades as care, concern, or even love. Recognizing manipulation for what it is and removing it from your life is an essential step toward reclaiming your power and aligning with your truth. Manipulators rarely operate in obvious ways. Instead, they use subtle tactics that undermine your confidence and distort your perception of reality. They might play the victim to make you feel guilty, use flattery to gain your trust, or twist your words to create doubt. Over time, this behavior can create a toxic dynamic where you begin to question your own intuition and judgment. The manipulator gains control by making you feel responsible for their emotions, their happiness, or their circumstances. This creates an imbalance of power where their needs and desires always come first, and yours are pushed aside. One of the most damaging aspects of manipulation is its impact on your sense of self. When you are constantly exposed to someone who manipulates, you may find yourself doubting your decisions, your feelings, and even your worth. Manipulators are skilled at making you feel as though you are the problem, that your boundaries are unreasonable, your emotions are overreactions, or your perspective is flawed. This gradual erosion of confidence can leave you feeling trapped, unable to trust yourself or take action to break free. Manipulation thrives on control, and the more you allow it to persist, the more it diminishes your freedom and autonomy. However, it is important to recognize that manipulation is not a reflection of your weakness, it is a reflection of the manipulator's need for power. People who manipulate often do so out of their own fear, insecurity, or unresolved issues. They seek to control others because they feel powerless within themselves. While it is natural to want to help or heal these individuals, the truth is that you cannot fix someone else's wounds. They must choose to confront and heal their own behavior. Removing manipulation from your life is an act of self-liberation. It begins with recognizing the signs and trusting your intuition. If something feels off, if you feel pressured, guilty, or constantly second-guessing yourself, it is worth examining the dynamics at play. Establishing clear boundaries is essential, as manipulators often test the limits of what you are willing to tolerate. By standing firm in your boundaries and refusing to engage in manipulative tactics, you reclaim your power and disrupt the cycle of control. Walking away from manipulation is not about conflict or revenge. It is about choosing alignment over entanglement, truth over distortion, and freedom over control. It is a decision to prioritize your own well-being and to surround yourself with relationships built on honesty, respect, and mutual trust. This choice allows you to live authentically, free from the constraints of manipulation, and fully aligned with your highest self. In a world filled with distractions and noise, silence is a profound act of wisdom. Choosing silence does not mean passivity. It is a deliberate decision to conserve your energy, protect your peace, and maintain your focus. When you silently walk away from what does not align with your values, energy, or purpose, you send a powerful message not to others but to yourself. This is a declaration that your well-being and growth are not negotiable, and that you will not waste your energy trying to justify, explain, or defend choices that serve your higher path. Justification is often a trap. When you try to explain your boundaries or decisions to others, you risk becoming entangled in their opinions, expectations, or resistance. People may question your motives, challenge your choices, or attempt to persuade you to compromise. This process can be exhausting, and it shifts the focus away from what truly matters, your alignment and your growth. Silence, on the other hand, is an act of strength. It demonstrates that you trust yourself enough to make decisions without the need for external validation. It allows you to move with clarity and purpose, unburdened by the need to prove your worth or justify your path. Walking away silently is also an act of peace. Arguments, debates, and prolonged discussions often escalate tensions and drain emotional energy. When you engage in these conflicts, you may find yourself defending your choices to people who are not willing or able to understand your perspective. This can lead to frustration, resentment, and even self-doubt. Silence eliminates this dynamic. It allows you to exit a situation gracefully without adding to the negativity or feeding into conflict. In choosing silence, you prioritize peace over pride, and you create space for healing and clarity. There is also great wisdom in recognizing when words will not make a difference. Some people are not ready or willing to hear your truth, no matter how eloquently you express it. They may be too focused on their own perspective, too invested in their version of events, or too resistant to change. In these moments, silence is not only wise, it is necessary. By walking away without explanation, you remove yourself from the cycle of misunderstanding and miscommunication. You allow the situation to resolve itself or to fade away naturally without further entanglement. Choosing silence is not an act of avoidance or weakness. It is a demonstration of mastery over your own energy. It shows that you are no longer reactive, that you do not need to have the last word, and that you value your peace above all else. Silence shifts the focus inward, allowing you to reflect, recalibrate, and realign with what truly matters. It creates a space of stillness where you can reconnect with your intuition, gain clarity, and move forward with intention. In this stillness, you also inspire others. By silently aligning with your values and walking away from what no longer serves you, you model a form of strength that does not rely on force or argument. You show that peace is a choice, and that silence can be more powerful than words. It is an act of self-respect, a commitment to your growth, and a testament to your inner strength.